All right, welcome to the 70th, 70, good Lord, IWAR Gold Strategy Workshop. So my cook is our IWA strategy guru, and I'm Matt Riley, the host, who goes, what about this? So we're looking at the February 2024 Gold Cycle Prospectus. So it's going to be interesting because we had some less helpful drops come out of iron and steel. So we'll do what we can.
Yep.
So you ready to go?
Yeah. So let's recap last cycle though. You got gold fed and one of the specialties, right?
Metro,
Did
yeah.
you get a special? That's right. Yeah. And I got women's world, so that's a good cycle. And the strat we went over won the rookie brawl as well.
Yes, yeah,
So we
that's
don't
right.
forget that.
That
So
was a
yeah.
Leon strategy. You're like, oh, I don't know if I do that early picking thing. Oh, don't listen to me. What do I know?
So yeah, we finally got the 28s out of the way. Um, wasn't my first strat, but luckily picked it anyway in my single, women's strat. But yeah, finally got that out of the way. I'm going to say kind of what we said last year. I will probably pick a 28 again the rest of this year. If we see a second one, I'll miss it. But yeah,
Yeah.
we definitely can, mark it off this cycle, next cycle. But I'm going to go beyond that.
And
So,
I would say to anyone
mhm.
who's brand new to the game or checking
Yep,
this out
it
because
seems like there's several. So yeah,
I would suggest watching the How to Win in the Ida video first.
yeah,
To get kind of the
yeah.
lingo
We'll,
down, understand like what drops are, pairings. We'll kind of talk about this as we go along, but um, the game's a lot more
yeah,
fun if you figure out how the pattern goes. So we're here to help.
yeah. So a
Now,
drop.
speaking of which,
Let's just do a quick reset. um, Basically what they were last cycle. So this is last cycle's values for each hold. These are the hold numbers. And you'll see two different holds will drop to a 25. And those are the two we're trying to find. We'll always use the 30s in our struts. We'll always use the 25s. We'll always use hold 25. So we have 4 to 5, depending on the cycle, picked out. And then we have to look at the other 9 or 10 or 11, right? 14. Nope. 9 or, yeah, 9 or 10
right?
to see which two are going to drop to 25. So it's that simple. No.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll go over, let's go over the back first. Um, we're still getting a good mix of 41s and 42s. So it does look like the trend of just going with whatever starts off the cycle. We might be out of that finally. That was a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
But it does look like maybe this year is going to be more of a mixture. So we had 3 cycles ago, what, 1, 2, 3, and 3. And then last cycle we had 3 and 3. And then this cycle so far we got 1 and 1 between 41s and 42s.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the more interesting part, trying to figure out. So you see, we've had 3 41s in a row, and we did go 41 last cycle, just kind of sticking with what had happened.
Right.
Even though, as you saw, 3 in a row of a 41 really didn't happen. Um, Now we're on 3, and we're talking about 4, which is even less likely. We did just have it happen in iron, though, and you see it was almost as rare. It had one instance,
Yeah.
but yeah, we're at a clear transition point in how they're doing the 44 and which
Mm-hmm.
one it's going to be. So it's a little tough to predict. Um, so I'll kind of fall back on the 41s are a little safer because at worst you get a 42 and a 43 most likely.
Right.
Whereas if you use the 42s, you could get the 44, but you could get the 41. So think it depends on how much of a risk you want to take. I'll probably stay safer and go 41s. Um, but yeah, it's going to be interesting probably this cycle and the next two or three, just seeing how this starts to shape up. Would be kind of cool if it's 3-3, but can't really stay something that simple, because if they did that, you'd start figuring out Jade pretty easy.
Yeah.
It'd always be whichever one doesn't have three. So, but it is neat that it's 3-3. I would expect you'd probably start to see a little bit more of a mixture, like the 4-2, 5-1s, things like that. But I'm probably going to stick with a 41. Um, but yeah, it's getting to be an area that's not likely to happen. But again, we've had the patterns change so much because of what they did that it's really just a guess at this point.
Right.
But if you look at the individual holds, your 42s, you have 83 that's had a great run, and then it finally dropped. If you look back at the other times that it's had a great run, it's usually followed up by a pretty rough patch. So I would at least bet against 83 this cycle, and we'll see.
83's back on
Maybe,
the sauce.
yeah, it's going to hit hard
Okay.
times this winter.
Yeah.
So,
Hard times. Okay.
so that's why I'm probably going to go away from that one. 61. You see, it's not been that great to start with. Never really had a stretch like this. You got to go pretty far back before you see one.
Mm.
But it's also not had much luck when it has any kind of challenges, and then it has this 144 and then a drop again. So yeah, I'm also just not feeling too good about either 42, so that helps me with the 41s. And I kind of like both 41s, so
Okay.
I think you're good to stick with the 41. That's where I'm going to be.
All right. So that
And
answers
then,
at least three there for us.
yeah, hold 90. I would probably just put it back at a 44. So a little weird there. We've had three in a row where it did the right thing, but that's not exactly unheard of. You see, there's several stretches like that. So I'm not going to try to predict 90 going anything but 44. So we put 90 there. That would mean, what's the other one? 73.
73, yeah.
73 here. Use one of the 41s here.
Right. And then it gets to the ugly part.
Yep.
44s and 43s.
Because they're all in effect. And so right now, just by saying I'm going to stick with the 41, we take the backs from 16 to 8
Nice.
and literally cut our options in half. All right. So 44 and 43s. I think I still like having at least one of the other 44 one or 43 ones. We finally did have some 2-2s happen, but
Mm-hmm.
I still tend to not pick those just because it's rare that they happen in comparison to the other. So, essentially you got four options between twos and ones on the 44 and 43s. And that's the least likely. So if you want to fully eliminate one, probably eliminate the 44 2, 43 2.
Mm-hmm.
If you did that, you'd have 44 1, 43 1, and 44 1, 44, 43 2, and 2 and 1. So 6 backs if you do that. Let's look at the actual holds. Yeah, now it froze here. So give me a second.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. Now we'll never finish a strategy.
There we go. All right, we're back.
Nice.
All right, so look at hold 85. Finally did it.
Yep, he
10.
finally came through.
Yeah. Yeah, after 10
Or
cycles of
did it?
being low. One of the biggest stretches, I think, ever on a 41
Yeah.
plus hold. Uh, kind of don't know what that means for this cycle. Uh, Nothing really to compare that to something that's been that bad that
Yeah.
finally hits. If you just look at the times that it's done something, it's been, what is this, 48 cycles. So back 50 was the last time I had two in a row that were above 43.
Right.
That's not good.
No, I would worry about that actually.
Yeah. Unless this terrible stretch means that it's slightly due compared to when it was bouncing back and forth here.
Yeah.
Maybe it goes up, but yeah, historically that's not been a very good hold. Whereas 66, it just has the little
Little blip, but it's
three.
been good recently. Yeah.
Yeah, it does look pretty good.
Ugh. It was rough for a while.
Yeah. So probably 66 over 85, but I think I'll still have 85 on maybe one or two.
Hmm.
This is probably one of those cycles where I want to use at least 4 to 6 backs and just one front, or maybe two fronts and still more backs than fronts. So
Okay.
44s, 62 has been okay, nothing great.
Hmm.
67's been the better one, but
Okay.
it's had five good cycles in a row, which is about the limit it does. So I think my favorite back is probably 61, 66, which would be, wait, not 61. Was that 62? Yeah, 62. So 62, 66 would be 44 to 43 1. Kind of guessing there, but that's about all the logic I have. I don't really have anything great
Hmm.
to really pick out one over the other. So go with that if you want, but that's just a quick guess, and that's it. But yeah, that's kind of where we have to narrow down the back. So if you think 41s can hit another cycle, which I do think they can, even though it looks like it's historically not something we see too often. But like I said, things are changing. So
Yeah.
I think it's probably our safer route.
Okay.
And then you're going to just be guessing over here, though.
Yeah. But that's all right though. I mean, if you build a strong front 10,
Hmm.
all right. So it's
But I got some bad news because there's a lot of options up here, too. So,
no, no.
yep. So we can finally rule out 28s. That took away one. But the two cycles ago was a 26-26, which takes away one. And
Hmm.
then to make it worse, still also had that one.
Yeah. Thanks to you.
So, you know, we some cycles you could lose up to 8 off of these two, and we lost one option. So that hurts a little bit. And iron at least helped a little bit with 28-27s. That cleared out 4. But that leaves us with, let's see, 12, 15, 16, 20. Yeah, 20.
Yeah.
We eliminated this first 28-26 because that was the combination that had the 25s 2 cycles ago.
Yes.
And if we refer back here, that's what these no's are. And you see how often that happens.
Yes.
Once. Yep. So safely can remove that
Right.
every once every other year. You're probably going to lose because of it, but you can accept that.
Yeah.
All right. So with 25s from 2 cycles ago, we have it in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if we go over to the chart, you'll see we had the yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no,
Mm-hmm.
yes. Um, it's a little different than our previous patterns where they were more clustered,
Right.
but I think overall, when you look at a range, we're due for more yeses than nos.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go with a yes this cycle,
Oh
and
my God.
that's the big way to help reduce our fronts.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. So yeah, gonna have to make a bold decision on that. But the actual holds, let's go look at the 22 and 1. So we kind of guessed a few cycles ago that 1 had to get a little better. What's he doing?
It's snoring over there. Just woke up. It's like,
Oh,
snored so loud she woke herself up. Go back to sleep. Mascots. Ugh. Did you, by the speaking of
hold.
mascots, did you read the ladder match battle royal write up?
Mm-mm.
Because
What happened in it?
there's a special part where they have Casey, the mascot for the briefcase,
Mhm.
and St. Lucia hits him with a knee strike. And like, oh my God, Casey's actually a local celebrity poker player named Donald Head. Then they get knocked out. I thought Don would appreciate that.
That's pretty good.
Kind of a running gag where like the mascot's always some celebrity, pseudo celebrity in the game. So, but anyways, so we were talking about 25s.
Hmm.
A yes again, because I,
Yep.
I get that. Like they'll go back and forth, back and forth. It's gonna break. It's gonna break,
Yep.
and it does
Uh,
really narrow down your options. Ugh.
so hold 1, it had this really, it kind of stretched the limits when it did the fourth one. Then we got a break from 2, and then we got another 25.
Well, let me move my thing here. Sorry.
It's sorry, can you still see?
Yeah, just moving it. So there it is. That's even better. Look at that.
All right.
All right. So yeah. So one was terrible for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, hey, I'm gonna be okay. It's like that Creep Show 2. I beat you. I beat
Yeah.
you. Uh yeah, so one could be down again.
Yeah. So it's got a chance. Yeah. I
Then
mean,
22.
you see, yeah, you see, last time it had the 3, so not quite the 4, but then it had 2 good, and then it did a back to back. So
Yeah.
it's very much a possibility. And 22, used to be the almost like a 25, but then it had one where it finally missed, and you see it did a back to back. So
Hmm.
a 25, 28, 25. What do we have here? We have a 25, 28. That could be a 25. So uh,
Right.
I wouldn't rule out either one, but I do like having one of those in strat. They both seem somewhat weak. There's a great chance that one or both of those will go down. Clearly, both aren't going to 25, though, based on what we know, but they don't look great. And really, all we're ruling out for the most part, 59 looks like that's in a lot. And then a mixture. Let's look at 59. Just curious about it. Looks like 59 is one that has a good stretch. And they don't have a miss. They don't have a good stretch. So
Yeah, and it's always
it's
been
in the
kind
good
of
stretch.
mediocre. It hasn't been 30 in like what, 2 years almost?
I think it's longer. How far back is this? That's about 2 years. Yeah, just looks like it'd be more in here.
It's just amazing that like, in that 2 year span, not one time did it hit
Mhm.
30 again. Um,
Which is that might not be a bad hold to drop if you think it will continue to not hit 30 and it's at a 29, meaning
mhm.
at worst it's 28.
Right.
So it wouldn't crush your strat if you missed that.
Yeah, that's true.
But we're knocking it out of a lot. We have it left in one. So maybe that's the one you like. Not necessarily the one I like.
Ooh. Yeah.
And I think I saw it mentioned in the locker room, but we always eliminate one and two. And if you did go to three, that's going to take away 27, 26. So if
Hmm.
you want to be more aggressive on what has hit, take that.
Yeah, that's definitely one to
We could
wipe out.
eliminate that one. So I'll put likely. Did I misspell eliminated? That doesn't look right at all, does it?
That's okay.
I don't know
And
the last time I spelled eliminated. It's
it's because you win all the events.
now I know the word edge in the report. I get that a lot. I
Edge.
don't get eliminated. Yeah.
Oh,
So that'd be a quick way to knock two of them out. And I think when we have this many fronts, you have to sort of go with things that just have a percentage to get you better, and that's
mhm.
one of them. So
Right.
we eliminate four extra drops overall. Two if you just look at the green ones that we have highlighted.
That's
And
still,
that would get us down to five fronts. And then, like I said, I'm going six backs off that. So there's 30 then. I think that's pretty good. So, see, we talked about one, we talked about 59, 22. Let's look at 45.
sure.
Yeah, that would be the other one. And 45 is a pretty nice hold. Here's where
Yeah.
yeah, 29, 30, 29. I'm trying to see if it's been that strong before. It's got like a 30, 28, 30, 28.
Hmm.
Does look like it has a few times where it's dropped two cycles after a 30. See right here, right here, right here.
Hmm.
So I would say that is an option. And I just kind of want to look. So you see last year, which I feel like these always reset, how many times it happens. We don't think that it happens more than three very often.
Hmm.
And, we were kind of looking, trying to catch these ones that didn't happen at all last year. And we're, what, two cycles in basically. And we saw two of the four happen already. But gold solved that problem last year. So it's, looks like it could really be anything based on this. Nothing really happened too much last year. So there's nothing I feel like would be avoided more so this year, at least at the start. So that doesn't help us there. So I think that's kind of the point I think we stop at. We've got, let's see,
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and cross this one out.
Hmm.
And yeah, five fronts if you agree with this pattern, kind of giving us a stretch of a couple in a row because it
Hmm.
hasn't in a while. And yeah, so back's going to be tough. I would feel good with one of these fronts. And yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
it's the other
let's
way.
see. Yeah, Larry had the question about so if you look at how many cycles since the last time something hit,
Hmm.
if that number of if it happened 7 cycles ago, and then the next cycle, if you have one that was 7 cycles ago, is it not going to hit? I think the issue more so is it's rare to have the same numbers outside of those lower ones, like 1 through 5 are more common.
Mhm.
But then you get very big variances. Like you see, we have no 7 this time. We have an 8. We have a 15.
Yep.
We're talking about a 35 last time. And so I think it's more coincidence that it doesn't happen, because it's not often, unless it's one of those first 5 or 6 numbers in the line, to have it as an option. I did find about, I think it was 7 or 8 times where it had like 7 cycles ago, 7 and 7 in a Fed.
Hmm.
So it happens some, but I think it doesn't happen more just because it's not an option. So I wouldn't trust ruling anything out off that.
Now, what about we had to talk about what Darren's gonna want to know about the 27s.
The 27th,
Eight,
uh,
five.
you know, it it does seem like one of those things that IWA might do, where they did the 26s, then they did the 28s.
Right.
That would kind of knock a lot of people off. Nobody would really be expecting it. I
Mhm.
don't like to go that route though, because that's a pretty ugly miss if it doesn't hit, and I just don't want to do that. Plus, it's interesting because it got me a little bit last year, where I talked about it's usually with the double drop we get 3, maybe a fourth one per year. And last time we had what, 2, 3? Did we just have 3 last year? Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just had 3. Okay, so they stuck with it. Are we really going to get a third in gold in 3 cycles? Like, that's a year's worth, and
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
not even the start of February. So I don't I don't think it would happen. Um, if you're really bold, maybe take it, but I don't think it's a good path.
Okay.
So try to
That's
avoid
that.
that. I think you'll
And
thank me
and
later.
the final question for the night. Who's gonna be in the Super Bowl?
Okay. Who do I want to be in the Super
Who do
Bowl,
you
or
want?
who?
Who do you think? How's that?
I just want the Lions to win, because if I had to start listing teams I don't like, we've got 3 of them right there. It's the top. I
Yeah.
don't really care for. I think it's going to be 49ers and Ravens, though, and the Ravens will win.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yep.
I know it's the whole conspiracy with the logo and all that. There's a guy at work's always like, oh, they're really showing their
The
hand.
colors on it. It
Yeah.
was red and was it red and purple this year?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, it's fine. But I'm kind of hoping for a Lions Chiefs game where the Lions win, but we'll get all the agonizing shots of Taylor Swift crying and you know,
That was the first game of the year. You realize that?
was it?
The first, yeah, the Thursday night football game that opened the season was
Oh,
the Lions beating the Chiefs at Arrowhead.
there, that's right. Yeah. Okay, well, then they can do it.
Yeah.
They've gotten better since then. But there was the latest sports conspiracy out of Boston is because Belichick hasn't gotten a job yet, is that Andy Reid is going to retire if they win, and then
Really?
Belichick will step in to KC because rumors. The sports radio here is so bad; they have like nothing to do, so they're always like, "Rrr," "Rrr." So
The
we'll see.
Falcons turning down. You saw that, right?
They got Rasheem Morris or whatever it was, like Raheem Morris. I'm like, all right, oh, there we go. 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Yeah. Plenty of time.
That's all right. We're just killing the time out here. But no, I always kind of appreciate the Super Bowl. I have actually friends coming over on Saturday to watch Royal Rumble, and then Sunday will be football day. I'm off all day Sunday. So I'll be cranking out IWA, writing promos. I have a most horrifically vile promo for US Mail and some other good promos. uh get ready. And there'll be a lot of Senior Lucha squawking. I have a lot going on anyways. So but if you want a good read while you're killing time before the results, the ladder match battle royal was a lot of fun to write. And there's some it I tried to write it so it was a good flow. But thanks once again for hammering out the numbers, and hopefully I've been doing better. I've been, scoring higher, and I've had more 501s I think in the last 6 months than I had like in the last 4 years. So
That's
do your
good.
homework, fellas.
Yep.
All right, well, I'll let you go, and thank you again, and thanks everybody for watching. Like and subscribe. There's going to be a pop-up window below for the IWAR multi-man special that we did with Darren on multi-man strats for tag and six-man. So take a look at that if you want to look at that kind of side of the sport or the game. And if you're a former player who's kind of dipping your toe to look at things because you saw the Graveyard League offer or the Try It Out offer, drop us a line. So thanks
Yep.
again.
And
Oh,
so with all the new players, if you need anything like a hold chart, just message me. I'll gladly send that over.
there you go. And if you message me, I'll send you one from 85.
Yep.
Antique vintage hold chart.
You didn't even have 90 holds then, did you?
No, I
So,
don't know where they did actually. I have to look it up. 3 holds. Armbar, stomp, and face rake. All right.
none of those flips, right?
No, no flips, just fists. So, all right. And we're very sorry that Vincent McMahon couldn't be on our call tonight. So, if you want some good reading, go read that too after you read the ladder match battle royal. All right, everybody. Thanks again, man.
All right, see you.